guys, it's Greg Hardy. If you're new to this channel, welcome. This video's main purpose is to show you how to break the paycheck to paycheck cycle. So many people get a paycheck, and before they get the next one, most, if not all of it, is gone. I'm going to give you valuable insights to make that a thing of the past. Between 55 to 65% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck, and nearly half of all people making $100,000 a year or more are in the same boat. Shocking, isn't it? Most people think if I just made a little bit more, I'd be fine. But that's obviously not the case. But by the end of this video, you'll be equipped with the tools to stop that cycle dead in its tracks. But before we get started, if you'd like to see more videos like this, please hit that like button. It lets me know that the content I'm providing to you is relevant and that you'd like to see more of it. Plus, it really helps my channel to grow, and subscribing helps too. Thank you. Have you ever heard of the term lifestyle creep or lifestyle inflation? That refers to an increase in spending on non-essential items as you begin to earn more money. Non-essential items are things like eating out, takeout coffees, entertainment, and shopping sprees. Another way of putting it is your spending creeps up to meet your income, and you view spending on non-essential items as a right rather than a choice. You know you're in that lifestyle if your income has gone up but your savings haven't. Ultimately, it's going to take a change in thinking and behavior to eliminate lifestyle creep. Don't get me wrong, buying nicer things isn't a problem, but mindless spending is. The problem is you're not telling your money where to go, and instead you're wondering where it all went. Schwab has a modern wealth survey for 2023 where it surveyed 1,000 adults between the ages of 21 to 75. On the financial planning side of things, 65% had no formal financial plan. That means that 650 people surveyed don't have a plan. Does that 65% number sound familiar? On the barriers to financial planning, 44% said they don't have enough money to need a plan, and when asked about influences to their wealth, 61% of Gen Z and millennials said they want to be able to afford a similar lifestyle to that of their friends and family. Gen Z and millennials are also highly influenced by social media, with 55% of Gen Z and 46% of millennials said they will make purchases based on what they see their friends and influencers share on social media. The correlation between this survey and the stats shown earlier are eerily similar. So it poses the question, is it really an income problem or is it more of a spending problem? Especially when 2/3 of people are living paycheck to paycheck and have no financial plan in place. Another thing that doesn't help is the financial literacy skills in America are declining. 71% of adults in the U.S. believe they have high financial literacy skills, but yet 6 out of 10 people live paycheck to paycheck. So there is a disconnect between how well people think they handle money and how well they actually handle money. There are several ways to eliminate this, so let's get started. Budgeting is the way to get your finances on track. Ever hear of that saying, if you fail to plan, then plan to fail? That saying holds especially true for money. When you don't have a plan for the extra money you have, then odds are it's going to get spent. Determine what your financial goals are. Decide on a budget and then stick to it. I have a video that discusses the 4 most popular methods of budgeting that I'll link in the description below that I encourage you to watch. Start by laying out all expenses, essentials and non-essentials. Start by taking an average of your last 3 months. I know this will take time, but trust me. After doing this, you'll have a much better understanding on where your money is going. When you establish a budget, the essentials come first. That's what the 4 walls represent. These are the priority items in your budget. The items are food, utilities, shelter, and transportation. Now the food portion is groceries and meal planning. It does not involve eating out at restaurants and fast food places. At this time, you should only see a restaurant if you're working there. By prioritizing the 4 walls first, you'll know that your family is fed, your lights will be on and you'll have running water, a roof over your heads, and gas in the tank to get to work. By doing this, you'll get to the end of the month in a much better position as opposed to getting to the end of the month and realizing that you don't have enough money to cover your necessities. Now that we've covered the essentials, this is the time to talk about all those unnecessary purchases, like eating out and that to-go coffee every morning. Choosing to spend less isn't about giving up, it's about gaining more in the long run. By being more intentional with your spending, you'll have a better peace of mind and a larger bank account. We live in a materialistic world where people try to one-up the next person that they don't even know. This is the moment in your life where you say, enough is enough. I'm not wasting another dime. I'm not going to keep using these credit cards to rack up more debt. In order to stop living paycheck to paycheck, you have to start living within your means. Remember, income doesn't make you wealthy, but how you manage it does. Have you seen the articles and heard about how lottery winners and sports athletes end up broke? They have millions and millions of dollars, but with no money management skills, it's gone before they know it. That doesn't have to happen to you. Reducing your expenses is another key way to break the paycheck to paycheck cycle. We just covered avoiding impulse purchases, but that's different than reducing expenses. When I say reduce expenses, I'm talking about getting rid of some of the extra subscription streaming services you have, or trying to reduce your grocery bill by $15 to $20. Maybe that's using less water in your home or turning off lights when you leave a room. Any expense that you can reduce, do it. By avoiding impulse purchases and reducing your spending, you should start to see some extra money in your checking account. Now let's do something useful with it. I can't even begin to stress the importance of an emergency fund. Nearly half of all Americans have less than $500 in savings. By limiting all the unnecessary spending, you can focus on savings. Instead of eating out, take that money and put it into a savings account earmarked for your emergency fund. $15 here, $25 there. It'll add up faster than you think. Your goal should be to set aside 3 to 12 months worth of living expenses, not earnings. I've mentioned this in several of my videos, but your emergency fund is not to be touched, ever, unless there is a real emergency. I'm talking about a job loss, car trouble, medical care, things of that nature. Think of the comfort you'll feel when you have a fully funded emergency account to cover those unexpected expenses, instead of relying on high-interest credit cards. Once you have established an emergency fund and given yourself a huge financial cushion, doesn't mean it's time to take your foot off that financial gas pedal. You have made great strides, but it can be given back a lot faster than it was made by making one mistake. Consumer debt is a wealth killer. Living with debt is one of the biggest things keeping you in that paycheck to paycheck cycle. The payments you're making to Visa, MasterCard, and American Express steal your income, and instead of paying yourself, you're giving your hard-earned money to credit cards. Some credit cards have interest rates over 20%. To put that in perspective, imagine a credit card with a $2,000 balance at 20% interest. If you make a $100 payment each month, it'll take you 25 months to pay off and a whopping $453.01 in interest. That's a $453.01 penalty for using that card. Credit cards should only be used as a medium of exchange and nothing more. If you find yourself constantly using them as a financial crutch, then my advice to you is to switch to a debit card. A debit card is linked to your banking account, and that will prevent you from overspending. You will be more intentional with your spending because a debit card is like cash. If you don't have the cash for the purchase, then save up and wait it out. Making big purchases too soon can really stall out any progress in getting out of that paycheck to paycheck cycle. Many people feel like they need to rush big purchases to impress society, like getting a new car or a bigger house. Don't let other people's opinions determine your purchasing decisions. Also, try giving yourself 24 hours before making any impulse purchases. This isn't for stuff that you would routinely buy like groceries or gas, but for stuff you don't need, like the latest gadgets, that article of clothing that's on sale, or a nice piece of furniture. By doing this, you may come to realize that the item in question isn't as important to you as you thought it was, and prevent you from experiencing buyer's remorse later. Unless you have a point in your life where you say enough is enough, things probably won't change anytime soon. You have to put your foot down and commit to changing the habits and behaviors in order to break this cycle. Instant gratification is ingrained in our society. In this day and age, we can get almost anything with just a click of a button. You're watching this video for a reason. Why is that? What's the real reason? Are you tired of not having enough money to take a vacation? Is it to learn how to save money so you don't have to work through your retirement years? Is it to have more time to spend with your family and friends? Whatever that why is, take time to sit down and reflect on it. Decisions are clearer when you have a why. Ultimately, you have to start by saving more and spending less. You need to have a written monthly budget and stick to it. Track your spending every month and start saving the excess. This takes discipline and a shift in habits, but it can be done. Knowing why you're wanting to change and break this cycle is just as important as the change itself. With that said, thank you all so much for watching. I really hope you liked this video and that you got something out of it. I encourage you to watch more videos as it relates to budgeting on this channel. And if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.